The final score, Wrexham 1, Newcastle United under 21s 0. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC, and this was a fun game. The stakes certainly weren't as high as in all our previous encounters this season, and as a result, it was nice to relax a little bit, watch a good open game with some good quality play, and also, as a bonus, get the right result, as well as getting some positives out of the game in general. So, Wrexham rotated massively. George Evans got his first start in the heart of the back three, and Arthur Okonkwo made his debut in goal, and they both do well. The opening stages were very interesting. At that point, Newcastle looked a little bit overwhelmed, and in all honesty, it looked like probably Wrexham were going to, well, take control of the game and win by a comfortable margin. However, in that period, we only got the one goal in the 13th minute. Lovely build-up play, great ball down the line by James Jones, brilliant run by Ford, who delivered the end perfectly to the edge of the area. And after that, it turned from the sublime to the ridiculous. It was the scrappiest goal you could ever see. McAlinden got his foot on the ball and got a shot off that was cleared off the line. It rebounded back towards him. The keeper, though, came up very quickly and blocked the shot with his chest that McAlinden struck back in. The keeper then dived down on the ball and seemed to have it under control, and then it squirted away from him. I can only assume that he had it in his hands, and as his front arm hit the ground, the contact made him just sort of squirt the ball out. It fell loose for Walters, who on the turn drilled in a shot from 6 yards, again cleared off the line, and this time it came out to Sam Dalby, who slotted it calmly in with his left foot into the bottom right corner from 6 yards out. Not as easy a finish as it looked, because by now there were a few defenders assembling, as well as the keeper on the goal line. And at that point you thought, right, okay, we're dominating. Newcastle's defence looks shaky, and we're going to score a few more. We could have got a second one 2 minutes later. Dalby doing really well to hold the ball up in midfield, then working it wide. Ford helping on nicely to the overlapping James Jones, who stuck a perfect cross in, and Dalby flicking it from just outside the 6 yard box, put it just wide of the left post. But Newcastle, to their immense credit, reorganised and started to settle into the game. They were a real passing side. In fact, as I've said in Dragonheart, you couldn't really judge Okonkwo's ability in the air because they didn't put any crosses in at all that he could come for. But they moved the ball around well. In Diallo on the left-hand side, they had a genuinely outstanding player, and they started to move into the game. Halfway through the first half, Diallo picking the ball up in midfield, cutting inside and hitting a beautiful ball over the top to Stevenson, who was totally clear on goal and slashed at it and put it over the bar. 5 minutes later, Diallo again cutting in from the left, driving in a shot which took a deflection and went whistling just past the right post. And from the resulting corner, Miley driving it flat to the near post, a pre-organised routine which Swindon scored from against us earlier this season. It was turned back into the danger area, where this time a shot didn't get off because Evans made an outstanding tackle to snuff out the danger. Wrexham started to get themselves back into the game, although the next opportunity for Wrexham was nothing to do with the control we were starting to regain in midfield through the hard work of Young and McAlinden. It was instead Okonkwo driving the ball over the top. His kicking was excellent, and both strikers were charging at it, looking to get clear as Newcastle's defence miscalculated. Neither of them could quite beat the keeper to it, though, outside the box. In the closing minutes of the half, Newcastle had a good chance. Diallo cutting inside, driving a shot from just outside the box, inside the bottom right corner with pace, and Okonkwo did well to get down and push the ball around the post. And then in the first minute of added time, more danger, Savage putting the ball over the top for Stevenson, who carried the ball into the area and drove in a shot from a tight angle. Okonkwo did really well to come out quickly and use his height and size and really give Stevenson very little of the goal to aim for, so he put it well over. And the half-time whistle then went, and Wrexham had the lead, but we're starting to realise that Newcastle actually had a great deal of threat. Stevenson with two terrific one-on-one chances. Wrexham got the first opportunity of the second half. Ford feeding it down the right, and Cleworth combining cutely with Dalby on the right side of the box before Cleworth got onto it. Just inside the area, very central, the ball just wouldn't quite come out of his feet quickly enough, though. When he drove his shot in, he put it over the crowded penalty area and over the bar. But Newcastle again started to look threatening, and Okonkwo had a couple of awkward moments. He came out to the side of his box and grabbed the ball and was judged by the referee to have handballed. Frankly, a borderline call. Could have gone either way. One angle on the replays looks like his hand's outside the box, the other doesn't. The free kick, though, came to nothing. But 2 minutes later, he had another little edgy moment where he had the ball and kicked it, but it was blocked by Stevenson, and it stuck for Stevenson. But luckily for Wrexham, Okonkwo reacted superbly to pounce and grab hold of the ball, saving at his feet. Diallo then was getting into it again. Another great ball over the top, another great run by Stevenson, and another wild finish. This time left of centre. He looked to hit it first time and slashed it wide. But Wrexham being reminded now that they were in an awkward game, that these youngsters were technically good and were starting to move it around. But we worked hard and were able to regain control. Say Jones, Young and McAlinden in the middle of the pitch, their energy and nous was impressive, and Wrexham were trying to get the fullbacks or the wing-backs forwards as much as they could. The next chance again was from Okonkwo, playing a perfect ball over the top to put Dalby one-on-one with the keeper. He nicked the ball past him. The keeper stuck his leg out and managed to get contact with his leg, and that was what saved him, because then Dalby hit his leg and went down. I've got to be honest, first sight of it, I thought it was a penalty. Looked at it again and again, I don't think it is. His hand goes out towards Dalby, but I don't think it makes contact, and his leg being out there is legitimate because he plays the ball. So a big penalty shout could easily have been given. I think the referee did well not to give it. Wrexham, though, took heart and dominated the middle stages of the half. Good ball in from the left-hand side, picked Waters out, and Savage had to make a brilliant last-ditch tackle to deny him. Wrexham started just after the hour to rotate things. Jordan Tunnicliffe had his first game of the season. He was given a rest, and Tom O'Connor came up. And Sam Dalby was replaced by Ollie Palmer. And soon after that was a big miss for Wrexham. A clever quick throw finding Palmer, who pinned his centre-back in the box, turned it around the corner. McFadden overlapping, pulled it back in. Waters with a glorious chance, about 7 yards out with lots of time. And he slapped it over the bar. Disappointing finish from him. Soon afterwards, Wrexham won a free kick on the edge of the area. O'Connor steps up and it's a beauty over the wall, which hits the bar, rebounds back down. Young does well to retrieve and feed it back in. And Jones driving a shot from the right side of the box, which the keeper did well to tip over. And again, the momentum continued. It was Waters dropping off into midfield, playing it to the overlapping O'Connor. He feeds it in, and Palmer, getting up 6 yards out, heads it over the bar. Defender backing into him, so he couldn't quite get on top of it. Wrexham made more changes, 15 minutes left. Waters and Ford given a break. Bickerstaff and Barnett brought on, and there were 2 minutes left as the game was really ebbing away. Lee came on for McAlinden. In the second minute of added time, Wrexham could have got a second. Great ball by Young to Bickerstaff, releasing him on a 2-on-2 break. He fed Palmer on the left channel, who drove a shot across the goal and just scraped the far post and went behind. But then in the 96th minute, the last minute of the game, Diallo just gave us one more nervous moment, cutting in from the left, getting into the box, and himself trying to shoot across the goal, and himself hitting it just wide of the far post. So Wrexham get the 3 points from their opening game in the tournament, in the group stage. Port Vale and Crewe to come. Port Vale beat Crewe 1-0 at Vale Park at the same time. Looking at the individual performances, well, I enjoyed Okonkwo. I mean, you've got to remember he's had no pre-season, so the guy's going to have some rustiness. And, you know, he was actually, I thought his kicking was excellent. I can't wait to see Mullen trying to get in the end of some of this low skimmers that he was hitting with spin so that the strikers can still get there. His touch wasn't great on the ball and led to a couple of incidents. But no, overall, you could see the quality that we're bringing in there. Across the back, you could see Tunnicliffe back. He had a good solid hour, I would say. No problems. In the middle, Evans was excellent, very elegant, lovely. Cross-pitch balls to pick out Ford in particular. Real accuracy and class about him. Suspect he's been brought in more as a midfielder than a centre-back, but ooh, he looked good. And then Cleworth again, excellent right-hand side of the central defensive three, driving forward decisively, defending strongly. Really good performance from him. Ford did well. He had the problem of having to pick up Diallo, though. No, I wouldn't say Diallo really burst past him and got crosses in. It meant he maybe couldn't be quite as adventurous as he wanted to be. McFadden put in a good effort on the left-hand side, had a couple of threatening moments, and again, didn't have too many issues defending. There was one ball played forwards, which looked like it was really awkward and could bounce beyond him to let a Newcastle player come in. He did brilliantly to use his body to turn the man away and get the ball clear. In midfield, Young again in the central role, really good. Really tidy, driving play forwards, really steadying hand in midfield. Jones, the usual, tireless effort, covered blocks, gaps really, really well, tracked runs really well. And on the other side, McAlinden tucked in a central midfield role, I thought did well, very good energy, some good tackles, and played a part in the goal. And up front, well, Dalby had definitely his best game of the season so far. Man of the match for me, especially in the opening stages. He absolutely dominated the Newcastle defenders and was full of threat. Sadly, there's no data for this game made publicly available. Pity, because Dalby's rate of winning headers would have been something to see. He dominated Savage in the air and got the goal. And alongside him, Billy Waters ran his heart out. He really worked hard. He got a smashing ovation when he came off, but just couldn't find a finish when he needed it. So a good performance by Wrexham, and we start off this tournament well. And let's remember that on Saturday, we'll of course be entertaining Doncaster Rovers. You can watch the game or listen to the game on Wrexham Player. So I look forward to speaking to you then. But with the final score of Wrexham 1, Newcastle United under 21s 0, I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.